Hello my loves, hello beautiful people, welcome back to another video. I am so excited for this video. As you can tell from the title, we are going to be talking about P-Valley. I kind of wanted to do a character observation type of video, so we are going to be talking about two characters on P-Valley and we are going to provisionally diagnose them. I say provisional because obviously I don't have my license yet, but we're getting there. So at any rate, if you are interested in this video, make sure that you continue to watch, make sure that you like this video and put down a comment below. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so as I'm going through with these two characters and the disorders that I believe that they present, I'm actually going to put on this side of the screen over here basically the criteria for the disorder so that you can follow along. So the first person that we're going to go with is Big Teak. Should not be too much of a surprise because he definitely exhibited a lot of trauma and underlying mental health issues throughout the episodes that he was on. A lot of people in the show looked at him like he was crazy when he would respond to certain things in a certain manner. So I would actually like to diagnose him with adjustment disorder. I say that because adjustment disorder is basically where a person is triggered or certain events or situations happen and they basically respond in a very severe manner, kind of out of the ordinary, where it's to the point like, yo, why are you tripping so hard? So if you can remember when you watch Little Teak, Big Teak, he is not little. When you watch Big Teak, he definitely, when he was watching like BLM or just injustices, he would get so riled up and everyone else around him was looking like, it is a reason to be upset, but at the same time, you are going overboard at this point, right? It really triggered him in a way that normally wouldn't trigger other people, even if they are upset. Now, I do want to put out there with the adjustment disorder, they do take into account like cultural type of responses. So when I say that, I mean like something that may be very distraught or very saddening to a person in the Black community versus a person in the Asian community or a person in the white community. The disorder does take into account that you do have the ability to act a little bit outside of the range just because it pertains to you culturally. Now, think about that with Big Teak. Even though it was it was happening to his people, he was still having these outlandish like outbursts when it came down to him viewing these things, and it was almost like he was in a manic state where he was looking at everybody else like, y'all not tired of this, y'all not angry at this, and they just looking at him like, bro, chill. So I would like to diagnose him with adjustment disorder. I also want to put out there too with adjustment disorder, as I had already put on the screen, is that it also affects your social interactions with other people. Big Teak, we know when we were looking at him, he did not seem like he had a lot of friends. He did not seem like he really got along with other people outside of Little Murda. And that was already complex in itself. So I really think he falls under the disorder because not only did he not really have a lot of friends, socially, but also too, because of his responses and because of how his personality was, it affected that, and that is a big part of the disorder. So we are going to diagnose Big Teak with adjustment disorder. Oh, and before we go on to the next character, I also want to say too, with adjustment disorder, they have kind of like sub-diagnosis, if you will. I would definitely have the sub-diagnosis for him to either be adjustment disorder with depression or adjustment disorder with psychosis. And psychosis is essentially where you have delusions or hallucinations. So you guys, if you think back to when he was in the trap house that apparently he was in as a kid, and he saw himself, he was hallucinating, you saw the blood coming from the side of his neck, which they never explained. I don't think they ever explained that, which I'm very curious about. But nonetheless, he would have hallucinations and delusions just about his life. I do want to point out too, with this diagnosis, it is likely that they do experience suicide or self-harm, which we saw with Big Teak, unfortunately, in the end. Spoiler alert if you have not seen it at this point, but we're like almost at the finale. Well, probably by the time y'all see this, we will be at the finale. So he kills himself. So he also experienced, you know, at least suicidal ideations, and unfortunately in the end, suicide. And then the other character, my final character that I want to get into, is Keyshawn, or Mississippi. I think we have gotten the opportunity to see a lot of how she evolved within her lifetime, outside of really a lot of the other characters. She has shown so much progression so far, fingers crossed, because I am up to date, so I've seen episode 9, waiting for episode 10 to come out, the finale, to see if she actually leaves. But aside from the point, I do want to I just want to acknowledge she has a victim mindset. She is going through domestic abuse, and it's not always easy to leave. But I'm praying that she gets up and she takes her babies and she leaves Derek. Oh, I mean, if she puts an iron to his face before she leaves, that's okay too. I'm sorry. We're keeping it positive. But I do want to say, even though she is gaining the confidence, I would diagnose her with dependent personality disorder. She is getting better, don't get me wrong, but there have been many scenes and really leading up to this point where she has been very dependent upon Derek, and not even financially, because she has been able to make most of the money throughout the longevity of their relationship. But when I say dependent personality disorder, I mean emotionally. As we have been able to see, well, let me first say, with dependent personality disorder, it actually starts in childhood, the relationship between a caregiver and a child. We really don't know too much about her relationship with her father, just because they didn't show that there was one, maybe because there wasn't one. We don't really know what happened to her mom outside of dad divorcing mom and then going with the stepmom, and dad being a complete scumbag, at least from what they alluded in the show, because the dad seemed to be messing with like the stepsister or whatever. But I digress. They didn't seem to have much of a relationship. So the thing with dependent personality disorder, it really manifests a type of attachment, which I do think Keyshawn has, which is like the anxious, insecure attachment type. I can do a video on attachment styles if you guys want me to. I just wasn't sure. But basically, attachment styles are things that you experience when you are growing up as a child to your caregiver, and how that can influence your attachment styles to people in general as you get older. So for Keyshawn, I really think she has experienced like that anxious, insecure attachment where it was more inconsistent, and she's always looking to have a self-worth by others' approval. We've seen that really throughout her growing up, her being on the cheerleading squad, her being in the family that she was in, because she was living with her stepmom and her dad like that whole time. Just certain things like that had influenced her later on throughout her life to always want to be accepted, to really give her any sort of confidence and self-worth, which is the dependent personality disorder. The unfortunate part about it all is that she is seeking approval, or she was for a while seeking approval from the one person that was hurting her, which is Derek. But hopefully my girl pulls through. But I would definitely diagnose her with dependent personality disorder. Now, actually, too, I'm going to make sure I put down below the research that has been ongoing. I don't know if they finished it, but it was in 2011. They actually did research on dependent personality disorder and how it has been manifested in domestic violence relationships. So it's pretty prominent. So that's not surprising that I think that she has it, just because she puts a lot of her self-worth on the people around her and what people think about her versus what she thinks about her. I really think in the show that she has shown so much progression in a way, as far as you being able to understand or at least be able to witness kind of her transformation or her growth. I definitely think she's diagnosed with dependent personality disorder. Alright guys, so that was basically my character observation from P-Valley. I know it was kind of short, but I also didn't want it to be too long. If you are interested in any of those other kind of videos, definitely make sure to check out above. I'll make sure that I link it. I did kind of a character observation for Euphoria. I know it's kind of late now, but I did one for Euphoria, and I also did kind of a chit chat of trauma bonds, and I basically referenced some of the shows, the popular shows that we all watch that show trauma bonds within relationships. So if you are interested or liked this video, make sure that you check out those other videos and let me know in the comments below if you want me to do some more of these. I kind of like them. So yeah, just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.